Have you ever wondered, when do I teach sight words? Or maybe you've wondered, do I teach sight words first or phonics first? Stick around to hear my answer and get a free guide on teaching your child the pre-K sight words. So you're watching this video because maybe your child has taken an interest in reading. Maybe your child is starting to sound out words that they see on boxes or signs, or maybe they're just memorizing the words. You remember learning sight words when you were little, but you've also heard that phonics is important to teach too. So where do you begin? Well, when my youngest son was learning his sight words and we were practicing with some cards, his younger sister would always interrupt whenever we came to the sight word see. Now, she wasn't really sounding out the word. She wasn't really decoding or reading the word. She had just memorized it. So really, what good would that do for her in a book, unless the book was filled with the word see, 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 because she couldn't sound out anything else. So, unless you're planning on only giving books to your child with words that they've memorized everything in, and by the way, some kids have done that before and fooled their parents, you're going to want to start with phonics. So there's your quick answer. Let's stick around for the reasons that I give. First, let's see, what are the sight words? Well, a lot of the time they're going to be referred to as the Dolch sight words list because a man named Edward Dolch in 1948 came out with a book called Problems in Reading, and he listed 220 words that appeared in our texts over and over, so they were high-frequency words. Let me show you what I mean. Here you can see that the Dolch sight words are divided into several groups, and the first group is called the pre-primer group, or the pre-K group. Now, that's just a name. I realize many children aren't reading prior to kindergarten, so don't worry yet if your child doesn't know these words at this time. Now, for my own children, I wanted to make sure that before I started these sight words, that they knew how to at least sound out a word with 3 sounds. A consonant, vowel, consonant word. Oftentimes you'll see these called CVC words. Let's take a look. Cat, dip, jet, bus. Now that's just names a few, but if you'll notice, the vowel is in the middle of the word, and the vowel is always saying its short sound, just like you would see on an ABC chart. The A says A for apple, the I says I for igloo, the E says E for elephant, the U says for umbrella. Now, once my child could spell a consonant vowel consonant word or read a consonant vowel consonant word, I decided to start them on the Dolch pre-primer or pre-K word list. Look at these few words that all follow the consonant vowel consonant pattern. As you can see on this list, all of these words have short vowels. They fit the consonant vowel consonant pattern, such as big or can. But they also follow some other similar patterns where the vowel is always short. And there's no real curveballs thrown as far as rules of pronunciation. Now, each of these 12 words can easily be sounded out if a child taps out the sounds. Like the word jump. J, p, jump. They're able to blend that together because you've been working on phonics with them. You've been working on how to read simple and short words with them where the letters say their expected sounds. Look, they're already going to know so many of this first list. Hi parents, is your child struggling to read or even hates to read and nothing you have tried has worked? Get my free guide, 5 quick tips to immediately help your struggling reader. I'm going to show you the simple tricks that I've used for years to successfully improve children's reading and their confidence in reading. It's easy, it's simple, and it's free. Just go to theparentteacherbridge.com/reading help. You can find that link in the description below. What about sight words that can't be sounded out? Or maybe they can't be sounded out as easily. Let's take a look at a couple. Look at the word come. If it followed a rule, it would be called comb, but it's not comb. But at least that C sound is near the beginning of the word, and the M is near the end, even though the E comes after it and it's silent. Or the word said. Said, very clearly you can hear it starts with an S sound, and it starts with an S, and it ends with a D sound, and ends with a D. So even though the middle might be a little bit difficult for a child, and it doesn't really follow the rules we would expect, a child that can sound out the words, that has an awareness of where the sounds are in the words, is always at an advantage to memorizing these words easier and more quickly. But you may still have a few problems because the words don't follow these expected rules of sounding them out. So you might play more games with those. You might have a cheer. You might have a song that you sing. You might trace them out and use more multisensory methods. There's loads of games online. But wouldn't it be nice to not have to do that for the first 40 words and only have to do it for just a few tricky ones? That's why teaching phonics first will help you. What about words that follow more difficult phonics rules? I'm talking about words that, they can technically be sounded out if you know every rule of phonics. As I recall, the words down and away were a little bit harder for my children to learn. They took a little bit more review. Now, this is where you can refer back to the words that look nothing like how they sound and do a cheer, do a game, do more tracing activities and more multisensory activities. Or you can do what I chose to do, which was expose my child to those newer phonics rules as we were memorizing the words from the Dolch pre-K list. Let's take a look at some. Okay, so here are a few of the more difficult phonics rules in the Dolch pre-K set of words. Now look at what I've underlined here. Many of these are what I would call vowel teams. The sound of AY in away, the sound of OW in the word down. Or here we have a 2-syllable word, funny. The Y at the end of the word can make the long vowel E sound. You could relate that to a child's name. My daughter's name is Everly, so she already has a Y at the end of her name that's acting like an E. Go ahead and tell your child a story like that. Pick the name of a friend or a relative. Look at the word for. It's not really too early to teach a child that OR says or, and looky there. You've got the word or memorized as well as the word for. Now here are some others. Go, look, make, me, my, play, see, 3, we, and yellow. Now, if you get my free guide in the description below, I list out these words for you into particular groups based on these phonics rules that you can go ahead and expose your child to. Now, will your child remember every single vowel team that you may choose to teach your child on the more difficult words? Maybe some children learn it really quickly. Maybe not. Maybe there's something standing in the way before they are able to learn that better. But I did want to present that to you because my thought is if they can memorize a word on sight, they can memorize part of the word on sight. And if they can memorize part of that word, the vowel team, it's going to help them decode many other words later, some of which will be in other Dolch sight word groups. If you would like a copy of my guide on how to teach Dolch pre-K sight words, you can go to the description below or theparentteacherbridge.com/sight word practice to get a copy of that. If you have a struggling reader and you would like to find out my 5 quick tips to immediately help your struggling reader, you can get a free guide to that as well. Go to theparentteacherbridge.com/reading help, and that's also in the description below. Click like and subscribe if this video was helpful and share with a friend. Remember, you are your child's most influential teacher.